What if I told you Lionel Messi is still breaking international records when football says he shouldn't be? At an age where legends fade, pressure grows, critics return, and every touch is questioned, yet one moment changes everything. Tonight, we uncover how Messi keeps beating time, doubt, and expectations, and the shocking detail behind this latest milestone will completely change how you see his legacy. Don't blink. We'll explain everything in this video, step by step. Don't skip it. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your scarves because history has just been rewritten. Again, Argentina are on their feet. The stadium is shaking, and right at the heart of it all stands one man, Lionel Andres Messi. Another night, another battle. Argentina digging deep, the pressure rising, defenders swarming like bees to honey. And Messi, oh, he's smiling because this is where legends feel at home. This wasn't just a win. This was a statement, a match full of tension, missed chances, heavy tackles, and that familiar question hanging in the air, can he do it one more time? Spoiler alert, he absolutely can. With every touch, Messi reminded the world that age is just a number, and records, they're just targets waiting to be smashed. A perfectly timed run, a moment of magic, and boom, Argentina surge forward. The crowd erupts, and history quietly taps Messi on the shoulder once more, because with this latest Argentina victory, Lionel Messi has now set a brand new international landmark, stretching his legacy even further beyond reach. Goals, assists, appearances, the numbers keep climbing, and the record books are officially running out of space. And let's not forget the journey, the criticism, the heartbreaks, the finals lost, the doubts whispered, the pressure of an entire nation resting on one left foot. Many would have cracked. Messi, he turned it into fuel. There's a touch of humour in it too. Defenders still trying the same old tricks, goalkeepers still hoping for miracles, and Messi still doing messy things like it's a casual Sunday kickabout. As the final whistle blows, Argentina celebrate another win, but the world witnesses something bigger, not just a footballer, not just a captain, a living era that refuses to fade. So the question now isn't is Messi done? It's how many more pages will he add to this unbelievable story? Because as long as Lionel Messi wears that Argentina shirt, one thing is guaranteed. History is never safe. Lionel Messi breaking another international record is not just about numbers on a scoreboard. It's about time itself being challenged in front of our eyes. Every era in football has its icons, but very few stretch their dominance across generations, tournaments, managers, systems, and expectations the way Messi has. This latest international landmark didn't arrive by accident or nostalgia. It arrived through consistency, hunger, and an almost stubborn refusal to slow down. Long after many believed his peak had passed, Messi continues to add fresh lines to a legacy that already feels unreal. Each new record feels less like a surprise and more like a reminder that greatness, when nurtured by discipline and love for the game, doesn't simply expire. What makes this milestone even more powerful is the context surrounding it. International football is unforgiving. It offers fewer matches, higher pressure, and relentless scrutiny. For years, Messi carried the weight of comparisons, expectations, and criticism that no club season could ever replicate. Every missed chance was magnified, every loss dissected, every trophyless run used as ammunition against his brilliance. And yet, instead of retreating, he kept showing up, match after match, tournament after tournament, wearing the same badge, hearing the same doubts, and responding in the only way he knows how, with performances that slowly, steadily, and inevitably silence the noise. This new record is a symbol of evolution. The young prodigy, who once dazzled with explosive runs and fearless dribbles, has transformed into a master of timing, vision, and control. Messi no longer needs to dominate every second to dominate the game. One touch, one pass, one perfectly chosen moment is enough to tilt an entire match. That adaptability is what separates legends from icons. It's the reason defenders still panic, why teammates trust him instinctively, and why fans lean forward every time the ball rolls his way. Records fall not because he chases them, but because the game continues to bend toward him. There is also something deeply human about this achievement. Behind the statistics lies a story of persistent sacrifice and emotional investment. International football doesn't offer weekly comfort or rhythm. It demands immediate impact. Messi has embraced that challenge again and again, even when the margins were cruel and the rewards uncertain. This record stands as proof that belief, when paired with relentless work, can outlast doubt. It reflects years of showing leadership not just through goals, but through responsibility, presence, and an unspoken promise to never abandon the cause. As this landmark settles into history, it reframes the conversation around Messi's legacy. It's no longer about whether he belongs among the greatest, but about how far beyond conventional greatness he has gone. Each record he breaks doesn't close a chapter, it opens another question about what is still possible, how long this level can be sustained, and how many more moments remain where Messi steps forward, rewrites expectations, and reminds the world that his story is still unfolding through every international appearance, every decisive touch, and every record that continues to rise while the game watches in disbelief as Lionel Messi keeps proving that his legacy is not something that was built in the past, but something that is actively growing with every match he plays for Argentina, and every milestone that quietly falls beneath his feet as time keeps moving and the standard of greatness keeps being pushed further than anyone imagined possible. Argentina's win was not a smooth, effortless march to victory. It was a test of nerve, patience, and collective belief under pressure. From the opening minutes, the intensity was obvious. The opposition pressed aggressively, closing spaces, forcing hurried passes, and making it clear that this would not be a comfortable night. Argentina had possession, but possession alone doesn't win international matches when every touch is contested and every mistake is punished. The tempo swung back and forth, creating an atmosphere where one small lapse could change everything, and the pressure slowly began to mount as chances failed to turn into goals. As the match wore on, the struggle became more psychological than tactical. Argentina's players felt the weight of expectation, the crowd urging them forward, the clock ticking louder with every minute. Attacks broke down, shots were blocked, and frustration threatened to creep in. This is where many teams lose control, where impatience replaces structure and desperation overtakes clarity. Argentina, however, held their shape. They absorbed the stress, trusted their system, and resisted the urge to force moments that weren't there. That resilience became the foundation of the victory long before the decisive moment arrived. Defensively, Argentina stood firm. Every tackle mattered, every interception drew energy from the stands. The back line refused to buckle, cutting out dangerous balls and recovering quickly when gaps appeared. Midfielders tracked relentlessly, turning potential counter-attacks into reset points. It wasn't glamorous football, but it was disciplined, intelligent, and essential. These are the moments that often go unnoticed in highlight reels, yet they create the conditions for greatness to emerge. Without that collective effort, the decisive spark never has a chance to ignite. Then came the moment of magic, the instant that shifted everything. After long periods of tension and resistance, one opening finally appeared. A subtle movement, a perfectly weighted pass, a decision made in a split second. And suddenly, the balance of the match tilted. It wasn't a goal born from chaos, but from patience paying off. The stadium erupted because everyone felt it at the same time. The release of pressure, the confirmation that belief had been justified. One moment didn't erase the struggle, it rewarded it. That single moment transformed the energy of the match. Confidence surged through the Argentine side. Passes became sharper, movement more fluid, and the opposition began to chase shadows. What had once been a battle turned into controlled dominance, not through arrogance but through assurance. Argentina didn't abandon their discipline after gaining the advantage. They doubled down on it. They managed the tempo, closed spaces, and refused to let the game slip back into chaos. This win was a reminder that international football often belongs to those who suffer the longest without losing faith. Argentina didn't panic, didn't fracture, and didn't rely on luck. They endured the pressure together and waited for quality to make the difference. The final result reflects not just the brilliance of a single moment, but the strength of a team willing to fight through discomfort, trust the process, and rise when the moment demanded composure, unity, and belief under the heaviest possible pressure. From years of criticism to global dominance, Messi's journey is a story shaped as much by doubt as by brilliance. Early in his international career, the expectations placed on him were almost impossible to satisfy. He was asked not only to be the best player on the pitch, but to carry the emotional weight of an entire footballing nation, still haunted by past glories. Every tournament came with the same narrative, that his club's success had not translated to the international stage, that something was missing, that greatness at one level somehow needed validation at another. These judgments followed him relentlessly, growing low. After each painful defeat, the heartbreaks were real and public. Lost finals, missed opportunities, and moments where the dream slipped away at the last step became defining images in the eyes of critics. Messi stood in the centre of those moments, often silent, often devastated, absorbing blame that went far beyond individual performances. The pressure was relentless, not just from opponents, but from expectations, media scrutiny, and constant comparisons to legends of the past. For many players, such weight fractures confidence and shortens careers. For Messi, it became a long, grinding test of mental strength and loyalty to a shirt that demanded everything and offered little comfort in return. What makes his rise from that period so powerful is the way he responded. There was no dramatic reinvention, no sudden change in personality or philosophy. Instead, there was persistence. He kept returning, kept committing, and kept believing that the story wasn't finished. Even when retirement from international football briefly entered the conversation, it felt less like surrender and more like exhaustion. His return symbolised something deeper. A refusal to let disappointment be the final word, a quiet decision to face the storm again, rather than walk away from it. As the years passed, Messi evolved not just as a player, but as a leader. He learned to carry pressure differently, to guide rather than dominate, to lift teammates through example rather than demand. His game adapted, becoming more measured, more strategic, and more aware of the collective needs of the team. The criticism that once questioned his character began to lose its edge as his influence grew beyond goals and assists. He became the emotional anchor of the squad, the calm presence in chaos, the figure teammates trusted when everything felt on the line. Global dominance did not arrive overnight. It was built through accumulation, through moments of redemption layered over years of disappointment. Each victory felt heavier because of what came before it. Each trophy, each record, each decisive performance carried the echoes of past failures and transformed them into proof of resilience. The narrative shifted not because critics changed their standards, but because Messi's consistency made denial impossible. He didn't erase the painful chapters. He absorbed them into a story of perseverance that redefined what success truly means. This journey has become bigger than footballing achievement. It represents patience in a world that demands instant results, humility in the face of relentless judgment, and belief sustained over decades. Messi's rise from doubt to dominance shows that greatness is not just measured by peak moments, but by the ability to endure uncertainty, remain committed through criticism, and continue striving when the world questions whether you still belong at the summit of the game. At an age when many footballers are stepping away from the spotlight, managing minutes or preparing farewell speeches, Messi continues to operate at a level that challenges the natural order of the sport. Football has always been unforgiving to time, demanding constant physical renewal and mental sharpness, yet Messi seems to exist outside those rules. Instead of fading, his influence has become more refined, more decisive, and in many ways more dangerous. This stage of his career is not about raw speed or endless sprints, but about intelligence, anticipation, and an unmatched understanding of space and rhythm. What sets Messi apart in this phase is how effortlessly he adapts to the changing demands of the game. As younger players bring intensity and energy, he brings control and clarity. He reads situations seconds before they unfold, positioning himself where the game will arrive, rather than where it currently stands. This allows him to conserve energy while maximising impact, turning brief involvement into decisive moments. One pass can split a defence, one movement can destabilise an entire structure, and one touch can shift the momentum of a match. Age has not reduced his value, it has sharpened it. Physically, Messi's evolution has been just as impressive. He no longer relies on constant acceleration, yet he still escapes pressure with balanced body control and close control that remain almost impossible to replicate. Opponents often misjudge him, assuming that time has slowed him down, only to be punished by a sudden change of direction or a perfectly timed burst. His ability to absorb contact, maintain possession, and dictate tempo keeps him central to every attacking phase. This is football in economy at its highest level, where efficiency replaces excess and every action carries purpose. Mentally, this version of Messi may be the strongest yet. Experience has given him composure that cannot be taught or rushed. He understands when to accelerate a match and when to calm it, when to take responsibility and when to empower those around him. Younger teammates play with greater freedom, knowing that stability sits behind them. His presence alone alters how opponents approach the game, forcing defensive plans built entirely around limiting his influence, often at the expense of controlling others. Even when he appears quiet, he is shaping the contest in subtle ways. Redefining greatness at this age is about sustainability. Messi shows that elite performance does not require constant physical dominance, but continuous adaptation. He proves that football intelligence can extend careers beyond conventional limits and that motivation can outlast physical decline when love for the game remains intact. Each performance challenges the idea of a fixed peak, suggesting that greatness can evolve rather than expire. The record books may mark numbers, but what truly stands out is the standard he continues to set for longevity, professionalism, and competitive fire. In an era obsessed with youth and transition, Messi's continued excellence sends a powerful message. It reminds the football world that experience, when paired with discipline and understanding, can still command the highest level. His ability to remain decisive in crucial moments reinforces the idea that greatness is not confined to a specific age bracket, but defined by impact, consistency, and the refusal to accept decline as inevitable as Lionel Messi continues to perform at the summit of international football while redefining what it means to sustain excellence long after most careers have begun to slow. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.